Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name is Anna and I've got a fun class planned for us today that is all about transitions. So oftentimes, whether it is in life or whether it is in our yoga practice, it is the transitions or the periods where we are moving from point A to point B where, for lack of a better word, things can get a little bit sloppy. And so today we are going to be working with some really fun transitions and seeing how we can really hold tight to our center and hold tight to our strength, even in the midst of maybe a little bit of a challenging transition. So go ahead and grab your block and we'll get started on our backs. So we're going to start in a supported bridge, taking the block maybe this lowest or middle height under the sacrum. I'm going to go ahead and take the lowest height there. It's right at the base of your spine. And noticing here that your glutes are working a little bit. So scooping the tailbone under just slightly and feeling the heaviness of the sacrum on the block. Nice. And then take your hands just onto the sides of your ribs here and kind of draw the side ribs in towards center. Nice. And so we're going to hold on to that, relaxing your neck, and just begin to march with the legs. So bringing one knee up over the hip and then switching. And aiming to keep everything else steady. And so we're watching that we are not moving the pelvis here much at all, but rather we're working in the hip joints. And then keep going with the legs there. Bring your arms straight up toward the ceiling. And we'll take the right hand to the left fingers and pull them back for a wrist stretch. And then switching hands, left hand pulls the right fingers back. And then both feet can come back to the floor. And nice and easy, let the arms come down. Now from here, think side ribs drawing in, tailbone scooping under a bit there. We're going to lift the hips up just enough to slide the block off to the side there. And then have your hands on your front pelvic points here on the front of the pelvis. You can make fists here. Resist down with your fists so that your glutes have to work a little bit harder lifting up. You can even reach back, give your glutes a little poke here. Wake them up a little bit. And now we're going to keep this work in the glutes, continue the marching here. So right knee and left knee. Keep going here. Now, same deal. Can you think about minimizing movement in your pelvis as you do this? Now, of course, if this feels like way too much, you can always just lift alternating heels up off the floor. Noticing here on the leg that stays on the floor, that glute is working like crazy to stabilize. Let's do a couple more here. So we're going to get really clear about the glutes job. Nice. And then feet come down. We're going to slowly lower one vertebra at a time, like rolling your spine down nice and easy. Beautiful. Now grab a hold of your block again. We're going to take it in between your thighs, the thinnest or middle width, and then bring your legs up toward the ceiling. You can always bend your knees a little if you need. Bring your hands behind your head, cup your skull, and hug your elbows in. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, lift up off the shoulder blades. Now lean your head back into your hands without lowering the shoulder blades. Look at your belly. Zip your pubic bone up toward your chin, and then draw those side ribs in towards center. Beautiful. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, lift up. Pull your pubic bone up, pull the top ribs down, side ribs in, and now swivel your pelvis to the left so that the left thigh comes closer toward you and the right thigh moves away. Come back through center. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Look down, zip the pubic bone up, swivel the pelvis to the right here, so the left thigh moves away, the right thigh moves closer. Come back through center and inhale to lower. Nice. Exhale, lift up. Swivel the pelvis left, so the right thigh moves further away. Come back through center. Swivel the pelvis to the right so the left thigh moves away. Back through center and inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Swivel the pelvis left. Right thigh moves closer toward you. Swivel the pelvis left. Left thigh moves closer toward you. Back through center. Inhale to lower. All right, adding on here. Exhale, lift up. Turn an inch in your ribs to the left, holding the side ribs in, zipping the pubic bone up, staying up off that left shoulder blade. Come back through center. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Turn an inch to the right, holding those side ribs in. Nice, zipping up that pubic bone, right shoulder blade, keep it lifted. Back through center, inhale to lower. All right, we're gonna put this together. Exhale, lift up. Swivel the pelvis left, so the left thigh moves closer toward you, and then turn your upper body 1 inch to the left. And then back through center, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Swivel the pelvis so the right thigh moves closer toward you. Turn 1 inch in the upper body to the right, holding steady in the center. Back through center, inhale to lower. We're gonna do one more and we're gonna double time it. So exhale, lift up. Swivel the pelvis left, left thigh moves closer. Turn an inch to the left, and then swivel the other direction, turn an inch to the right. Back through center, inhale to lower. Woo, last one. Exhale, lift up. Swivel the pelvis so the right thigh moves closer toward you. Turn an inch to the right in the upper body. Back through center. Swivel left, turn an inch to the left in the upper body, back through center, and release. Nice work. Whew. I'm awake now. So let's take the feet about mat's width apart here. You can bring your arms out into a goalpost, and then let your knees fall over to the right. So pushing down into the sole of your left foot, and feel a little bridge like in this left side. Kind of scoop that left glute down, pull the front of that left thigh up. And then we'll bring the knees back up through center, take them over to the left, keeping that right footprint, sole of the foot down on the floor. Feel a little bit of that bridge action in the right side. Now come back up through center. You can roll over to your side, push yourself up, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. So hands and knees with the shoulders right over the wrist and the hips right over the knees. Good. And we're going to start here by taking your left forearm down to the floor. So the elbow will be underneath the shoulder and the right palm will line up with the left elbow. So from here, kind of hug the shoulder blades down there, knitting those front ribs together, keeping the throat lifted up. And then we're just going to take the right leg out to the right a little bit and back down. Out to the right and down. Keep going there. So we're starting to target the outer hips. Definitely feeling it on the right side, lifting up, but also a lot of work in that bottom hip to stabilize you there. And then we'll set the right knee down. We're going to open up into a modified side plank. So right hand will be down, left leg will reach back. So from here, we want this right hand directly under the shoulder. Hug this right shoulder blade down away from your ear. Kind of suction cup it onto the spine, or onto the back ribs rather. You can take your left hand to your low belly. Get that feeling of zipping up in your pubic bone, taking your tailbone and rooting it back. Nice. Ribs are holding in. It's always helpful. Put your hands on your body and just feel what's happening, giving yourself that tactile cueing. And then we'll bring the left hand and the left knee back down to the floor. All right, switching sides. Right forearm will lower down. The elbow is directly underneath the shoulder. Left palm is in line with the right elbow. Hugging the shoulder blades down slightly, holding the front ribs in. And then we'll start to move that left leg out to the left. Keep it going there. We're feeling that left outer hip. Then lift the leg, that bottom outer hip, really working to stabilize. And the left knee will lower. Modified side plank, right leg reaches back. Now take this left shoulder blade, hug it down, and then kind of grip it onto those back ribs. Nice. You can take the right hand to the lower belly, zip up in the pubic bone, ribs are in, tailbone is lengthening back. Always the option to kind of kickstand that bottom leg. If you're needing a little bit more help with balance. And then we'll bring the right hand and the right foot back to tabletop. Let's go ahead and lower down onto the forearms. We're coming up into dolphin, so you can have the forearms parallel or interlace your fingers. I'm actually going to start with my hands interlaced today. Tucking your toes under and then dome in the upper back, up in between your shoulder blades. Let your head relax. And then we're going to send the hip creases up. You can bend your knees here. Gathering those front ribs in, pushing the floor away with your forearms. Right, now we're going to take the right leg lifted up just to about hip height and step it down. Left leg lifts up hip height and down. Keep going there, just walking it out. Keeping your neck nice and relaxed. So letting the head just kind of hang there. Gathering those front ribs and really hold them strong. You got this. Last couple. And then hold your dolphin. We'll lower the knees, nice and slow. And then we're going to take kind of an active child's pose here. So bring the pinky side of your hands to the floor. And then straighten your arms here. So it's like a child's pose, but we're up a little bit higher. So you can push into that knife edge of the hand. Hold the front ribs in. Let your head relax. And take a few really deep breaths, filling up that space in your back. And then we'll come forward, spread the fingers nice and wide, shoulders over the wrist, tuck the toes, and lift up for downward facing dog. So same thing here, relax your head, straight, strong arms, push into the hands, hold your front ribs up. Nice. You can always bend the knees, keep lifting up into your pelvis. And then we'll just start to baby bear walk to the front, opposite hand and foot, walking you forward. Once you're at the top there, sit back into the hip creases. Keep your spine nice and long, and we'll rise to stand just like that. Amazing. Hope you are feeling a little bit warmer here. So I'm just going to set up my blanket there for a little support for my knees. You're always welcome to follow along with that. Okay, so standing at the front here, and just take a moment to check in. Moving your skull back, not tipping in the pelvis. So zipping up in the pubic bone there, gathering the ribs in. Inhale, bring your arms forward and up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. So keep that length in the spine, hands lower blocks or floor, and we'll step the right foot back. Lower the knee, come onto the top of the right foot, and lift yourself up. So we've got the right hip directly over the knee, squeezing this right glute. Bring your right hand behind your head and your left hand back to your sacrum. So once again, feel like you can move your throat and your face back into that top hand. And then with that bottom hand, you can kind of draw the pubic bone back, wrapping or lengthening rather the tailbone down toward the floor. Bring both hands down the floor or your blocks. Slide the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, step that foot as far forward as you can, pushing into the hands. Lower the left knee, the top of the foot, and bring yourself upright. Left hand this time behind your head, right hand back to the sacrum. Move your throat back, pubic bone back. That left glute is wrapping down. Got that left hip directly over the knee. We'll bring both hands down, floor or blocks, step the left foot up, sit back into the hip creases, spine stays nice and long, and we'll rise to stand. All right, adding on to that, arms come forward and up, inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands come down, left foot steps back, lower the knee but keep the toes tucked this time. Check in with the pelvis. That left hip staying over the knee, the left glute is working. Bring your arms out into a goalpost. Nice. So just like in our abs, we're gonna practice turning from the ribs and from the obliques, keeping the pelvis steady. So take an inhale breath here. As you exhale, turn just a little bit to the right, moving in the ribs. Back to center, inhale. Exhale, turn just a little bit to the right. Back to center. Exhale, turn. Last one here, inhale. And exhale. Back to center, plant the hands, downward facing dog, right leg slides back. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, push into the hands, step that foot forward. Lower the right knee, keep the toes tucked, and bring yourself up. Right hip is over the knee, squeeze that glute, and bring your arms into a goalpost. So you can always bring them a little bit lower if that irritates your shoulders. Check in. We've got more of that neutral pelvis. We're gonna hold that steady. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to the left. Not changing anything else. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. And exhale. Rotating around the axis of the spine, but holding that strength. Last one. Back through center. We'll plant the hands down and slide the right foot forward. All right, rise to stand here. Inhale, arms come forward and up, moving into our first sequence. Exhale, hinge and fold at the hips. Spine stays long, hands are down. I'm gonna step the right foot back and come up onto your fingertips here. That could be on the floor or on blocks. Lightly dragging the shoulder blades down, holding the ribs in. Back glute is squeezing. Now just start to rock forward and back on the toes. On the back toes more specifically. Keeping the back of your neck long so we're not jutting the chin forward. Nice. And then from here, we're gonna land the right hand directly under the shoulder. Hug that shoulder blade down and in, so secure it on your back ribs, and then rotate in your ribs to the left. So opening up for a little twist here. Hold that right glute. Let your head relax. Chin stays slightly in. Beautiful. And then we're gonna take the left forearm down onto the left thigh, drop the right heel down, and open up for a side angle. The right arm can reach up. You could reach it up and over here. Pushing down into that right outer foot. And even here, there's that feeling of zipping up in the pubic bone, containing the ribs. So we can get all of this nice space in that top side rib cage. Push down into that left forearm, give you a little lift. Now we're gonna windmill up warrior two, back into your reverse warrior. Right hand to the back thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Let your head relax there. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. One more time there. Warrior two. And reverse. Warrior two. Now come up and around to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. Right leg will reach up. So just like we did in our dolphin at the start, we're gonna step the right foot down, lift the left leg up, and down. Right leg up, and down. Left leg up, and down. Right leg comes up this time. Now hold those front ribs together, straight, strong arms. Take the right leg out to the right a little bit without changing anything else. Ooh, yes. We'll bring that right leg back in, push into the hands to step that foot forward, rising up for Crescent Lunge. Awesome work. So check in with the back leg, can soften the knee a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone down, squeezing this back glute. Nice. And then we're gathering the front ribs in, left hand behind the head, right hand to the sacrum. Check in with your posture here. Take a big full breath. Super strong. And then we're gonna keep the hands where they are for now. Hinge back into the right hip crease. So we're kind of leaning forward. You can straighten the back leg. but maintaining all of those principles. So pubic bone zipping up, ribs staying in, throat lifting into that top hand. Now keep that shape. Left hand will land on the right thigh, and we're pushing down into the thigh to get more lift in the belly. And then maybe come forward a bit and float that back leg up. Supported warrior 3. Here we are. If you wobble and shake a little bit, right? It's fine. It's all part of the process. No one shows up to a hard transition and does it flawlessly right off the bat. Stay in it. And then we're gonna land the left toes, windmill up and around to the front for left side half moon. So that left hand can be on a block or on the floor, and the right leg will float up. So even here, let's take the right hand to the low belly, kind of zip it up, zip the pubic bone up. Really nice. Hugging that left outer hip in. You got this. Relax your neck. Trust your own strength. And then from there, right hand can come down. We're going to step the right foot back and lower the right knee. So modified side plank again here. Right hand will land underneath the shoulder. Left leg kicks back. Same thing as before. Hug this right shoulder blade down away from the ear. Secure it onto your back ribs. This time, see if you can hover the back leg. Nice. Tailbone lengthens. Pubic bone zips up. Nice work. One more breath here. And then I'm going to lower the left forearm down to the floor and lower the right forearm down. So make sure that the elbows are directly under the shoulders and the forearms are parallel if you can. And we're going to do a little cat-cow here. Starting to tip the tailbone up a little bit, softening one vertebra at a time, all the way lower back to upper back. And then reversing that, curling the tailbone under a bit, lifting up lower belly, middle back, upper back. You can let the head relax. Let's do a couple more like that. And now coming back more to neutral, so we're not collapsing here and we're not rounding, but you want to feel the shoulder blades just secure on the back ribs, or you can kind of drag them down a little bit here. And keeping that feeling, holding the front ribs in, step the left foot back and the right foot back, forearm plank. So keeping the chin from jutting forward, chin stays slightly down, lift the front of the throat instead, squeezing the glutes. Zip the pubic bone up. Lower the knees, and then lower all the way to your belly. Amazing. So we're going to let the forehead rest on the floor. Bring the arms back behind you. Now rock more toward the bottom of the pubic bone so you feel the tailbone lengthen and a little bit of lift in your belly. Keeping that feeling, draw the shoulder blades together to hover your arms. And then relax the arms back down. Let's do that again. Shoulder blades draw together, restraining the front ribs there. And relax. One more time. Shoulder blades draw in. Maybe this time you lift the head and the chest, but once again, we're not looking forward. Keep the length in the back of the neck. And lower back down. Can bring your forearms back to the floor here, and then we'll tuck the toes, the knees down for a moment, lift back up into your forearm plank, and then walk the knees in, pop up onto the hands. So we're in a tabletop. Spread the fingers nice and wide and lift into your downward facing dog. Take a big full breath in and exhale, let it go. And then just like we did before, let's do a little baby bear walk all the way up to the front. You can come up onto the fingertips or on your blocks, sit the hips back, spine stays nice and long, and we'll rise to stand there. All right, second side. Inhale, arms come forward and up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Nice long spine. This time we're going to step the left foot back. I'm going to have my hands on blocks here for this one. Lengthening the spine forward without jutting the chin. Squeeze that back glute. And then we're just going to start to rock forward and back on those left toes. It's pushing down into that left big toe mound. And then we'll hold that. Left hand will land underneath the shoulder. Hug that left shoulder blade down and in, and then rotating around that axis of the spine. You can let the right arm come up. Revolving low lunge here. Squeeze that back glute. Leaning into the left shoulder blade. It's going to support you there. Just let your head relax. Now we'll take the right forearm to land on the right thigh, drop the left heel down for side angle here. Left arm can lift up. Now let your head relax. You can check in with the low belly, pubic bone is zipping up, ribs are staying contained. Maybe the left arm reaches up and overhead. But pushing down into that right forearm to give you that upward lift, opening up into the whole left side waist. We'll take an inhale, come up, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior, left hand to the left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Relax your head there. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. One more time. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two, hold it here. Windmill up and around to the back of the mat, downward facing dog, left leg reaches up. And we'll step that left foot down, right leg up. Holding everything else steady as we move the legs. Left leg comes up, hold it there. Push into the hands, knit the front ribs in. Can you take the left leg out to the left? Doesn't have to be much, but we're not changing anything else. It's really challenging the hips a little bit more. Hips and everything else. Left leg reaches back, push into the hands, step that foot forward, rise to your crescent lunge. So check in with the back leg. See if you can soften the back knee a little bit and lengthen the tailbone down. Nice. So we're working on holding more of that neutral pelvis. So we're not rounded back and we're not tipping forward here. So you can kind of play around with that. Then we're going to bring the right hand behind your skull and the left hand to your sacrum. So move your throat back, still knitting those front ribs in. Nice. And then from here, we're going to hinge back into this left hip crease. You can straighten the back leg and just watch your tendency here. Keep zipping up the pubic bone, holding that back glute steady, and lifting the throat into that backhand. It's harder than it looks. And then from here, right hand can land on the left thigh, start to shift forward, and maybe float the back leg. Keep lifting the throat up. Really grip the floor with that left big toe mound. Right, and if you fall out of it, no worries. Get back up. Keep trying it. If you need to have those back toes on the floor, amazing. Make it work for you. Last breath. Lifting in the belly. Right foot will land. I'm gonna windmill up and around to the front, half moon on the right. Here we go. Right hand will land, floor block, left leg reaches back. You can take the left hand onto the belly and zip it up, firming this right outer hip in. Doing a lot of work for you. One more breath here. And then we'll bring the left hand down, step the left toes back, and lower the knee. We're going to take this right into a modified side plank. Right leg goes back. Hug this left shoulder blade down and in. Zip up the pubic bone. Take the tailbone, lengthen it back. And maybe you hover the right leg. Amazing. Let's take one more full breath. And then we'll lower the right knee and the right hand, lower down onto your forearms. And let's go right into a couple rounds of that cat-cow here. Just moving with your own breath. Come back through center and find that place where the shoulder blades aren't just collapsed down, they're not rounded on your back, but feel them just secure on the back ribs, kind of drawing down, holding the front ribs in. We'll step the right foot back and the left foot back, forearm plank. Squeeze the glutes, hold the ribs in, keep the throat lifted. And we'll tap the knees down, lower slowly all the way to your belly. Nice work. So on your belly here, go ahead and bring your arms out into a goalpost. Now once again, if this position bothers your shoulders at all, you can always just slide the arms down a little bit. So it's still a goalpost, just a little bit lower. Now root down into the bottom of your pubic bone. Glutes are squeezing, they're kind of wrapping down there. And then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades in towards center to lift your arms. And lower that back down. Let's do that again. Shoulder blades lift. Keep that tailbone rooted down. You got it. Lower it back down. Last one here. Shoulder blades on your back. Draw together. Maybe this time you lift the head and the chest without looking forward. And lower back down. Nice. Let's make a little pillow for your forehead this time. Bend your knees. And just a really small rocking side to side. So not going really so big with this movement where you start to feel it in your low back. And then from there, you can let the legs come back down, pop up onto your forearms, and then we're just going to come back the same way we came down into this. Tuck the toes, lift the pelvis, lift the knees, and then one knee at a time, set them down to the floor under the hips, lift up into your tabletop, and pike up, downward facing dog. Big full breath in, exhale, let it go. Start to walk your feet forward, pulling up on the tops of the thighs, and we'll rise to stand at the top. don't know what my hair is doing. Take a quick second here. So we are going to move right into a modified Sun Salutation A, and then we've got one more sequence after that. So we're getting there. Let's bring your arms forward and up. Inhale. As you exhale, hinge and fold, sitting back into the hips. Plant the hands here. Step your feet, your knees back for tabletop. Hug the shoulder blades down and in. Feel them secure on the back ribs. Hold the ribs in front together. Left foot steps back. Right foot steps back. Plank. Keep the throat lifted up. Tap your knees down. Hold them on the floor. Bend your elbows just a tiny bit. Hold there. Pubic bone zips up. Back of the neck is long. Straighten your arms. Let's do that again. Bend your elbows just a little bit. Tailbone back, pubic bone up, ribs are in. Straighten. Last time, tiny bend, tiny bend. Straighten your arms, lift up, downward facing dog. I don't know about you, that is way harder for me. I'm just kind of flying through a typical sun sal, right? Working with focus, working with intention, really feeling it in a bigger way. Take a breath. Then we'll walk the feet forward toward the hands. Sit back into the hips, spine is nice and long. Rise to stand. One more just like that. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands come down. Right knee back, left knee back, tabletop. Hug the shoulders down and back. Secure them on the back ribs there. Arms are straight and strong. I'm going to step one foot back, and then the other. You're in your plank, throat is lifted up, ribs are in, tailbone down. Tap the knees, hold them down, bend the elbows just a little bit. So we're preventing the shoulders from dipping forward. Straighten the arms, bend the elbows just a little bit, hold that nice strong posture. Straighten. Last one, bend just a little bit, and straighten, lift up into downward facing dog. This time we're gonna go right into some pelvis swivels. So you can be up on the toes there, and then we're just gonna swivel the pelvis side to side. You're gonna see the knees turning right and then left. We're holding the belly up, holding the ribs in. Letting your head relax. All right, moving into our last sequence here. Right leg will reach up and back. We're gonna push into the hands, step that right foot forward, rise up, crescent lunge. Beautiful. So you can soften that back knee a little bit. Take your left hand behind your head and your right hand back to your sacrum. Move your face back, hold the ribs in. This time we're going to come into a warrior three like this. You've always got the option to have that left hand on the right thigh though if you want it. So we'll hinge back into the hip. Warrior three here, back leg comes up, and see if you can keep your hands there. Nice. Push down into that right big toe mound. Nice. One more breath. Now we're going to push down into that right foot like you mean it. Stand all the way up. Left knee will lift. Woo! It's a big move. Right hand can be on the right glute. Really squeeze it. And then from here, holding the ribs in, maybe still with the hands where they are, you turn an inch to the left. I know we're going to get off this right leg soon. Maybe the right hand comes to the left thigh. Maybe the left arm reaches back. But all of that turn is happening from your obliques there, and we're holding that pelvis neutral. Now we're gonna step the left foot back, warrior two. If you need to bend and straighten that front knee for a minute, I'm not gonna blame you. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. And from here, we're gonna windmill up and around to the back for a modified side plank. Right hand and right knee will lower, left leg reaches back. So secure that right shoulder blade on the ribs. Now from here, we're gonna add in a little move from earlier. Left knee, left forearm lower. The right hand is in line with the left elbow. Right knee kicks out to the right a bit. Set it down. Open up. Right side, modified side plank. Left hand or left forearm, left knee lower. Right leg kicks out and down. You can always take this slower if you need. More important, pay attention, notice what's happening in your body, and really feel like you're in a good position. There is no rush. Let's all do one more. Now hold it in this modified side plank. Pubic bone is zipping up, ribs are staying held in. Look down at the right hand. We're gonna step the left foot up in line with it. Half moon, left hand can come either to a block or to the floor there. Right leg lifts up. Nice. And then whatever feels the best for you here. So you can have the right hand on the belly. You could put it on the inside of that left knee for a little bit of resistance. You could take it up toward the ceiling. Just let your head relax. Nice. One more breath. And then we're gonna step that right leg behind the left, coming into a seated twist, facing the long edge of the mat. Awesome. Nice little well-deserved break here. So options, you can always sit on a blanket or a block, get your pelvis up a little bit, or you could kick that bottom leg straight out. So make it work for you. And then we're just gonna go right into some shoulder rolls. Nice and easy there. And then we'll bring the left hand down to the floor. Let your left ear relax toward the shoulder. And then maybe take that right arm, reach it up and over. Anchoring that right hip down toward the floor. And then we're gonna unwrap, turning to face the opposite edge of the mat. Parallel your feet here. We're gonna go right into some side lunges. So side to side, you can place the fingers into the hip creases, sitting back, keeping the spine nice and long. And then we'll turn back to face the front of the mat. Bring the knees down, tabletop. We're gonna go right into a couple rounds of a cat and cow here. And sometimes it's nice even to flip the fingers back. Let's get a nice little wrist and forearm stretch. You can even add some little circles in the belly, whatever feels nice for you. And then when you're ready, fingers spread nice and wide, straight, strong arms, downward facing dog. Here we go, last side. Left leg reaches up and back, inhale. Exhale, push into the hands, step the foot forward, crescent lunge. So check in with the back leg, maybe soften the knee a little bit. More neutral in the pelvis, zipping the pubic bone up. Beautiful. Right hand can come behind your head, left hand back to the sacrum. Holding the ribs in, we just have the hands here kind of as like little guideposts. And then we're coming into a warrior three. Remember, always that option to have the right hand on the left thigh. But we're gonna hinge back into that left hip and maybe float the back leg. Nice. If you've got your hands still on the head and the sacrum, use them there. Lift the throat up, hold the ribs in more. Right? If you are used to maybe jutting the chin forward or popping the ribs, it's just going to take that moment-to-moment awareness. Nice. Now push down into that left big toe mound like crazy. Rise to stand. Nice. Stand tall on that left leg. You are strong. And then if you like, you can keep the hands there. Start to rotate in the ribs just a little bit to the right. Maybe the left hand lands on the right thigh. Maybe the right arm reaches back. Keep squeezing that left glute. This isn't going to last forever. And we'll step that right foot back. Warrior two. Nice. Can bend and straighten that front knee a little bit. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Reach up and back. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Right arm up and over. Relax your head. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Last time, inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. And a windmill up and around to the back. Land the left hand and the left knee. Modified side plank. Right leg reaches back. Hug that left shoulder blade down and secure it on the back ribs. Pubic bone is up. Now we're going to take the right knee and the right forearm down. Left leg moves out to the left a bit. And set it down. Modified side plank on the left. Take your time. It's no rush, even if you only do one or two of these. Keep it going there. Pubic bone up. Tailbone lengthens. Neck is nice and long. Just got a couple more here if you're following along. Last one. Let's hold this modified side plank. Look down at your left hand. Step that right foot up in line with it, half moon. Here we go. Right hand lands floor or block. Left leg reaches back. Right? And take whatever option feels nice for you with this left hand. Maybe as a little feedback, pubic bone zipping up. Maybe on that inner right knee for a little bit of resistance. Maybe it reaches up. Wherever you are, just let your neck relax. Now we're going to take this right into our seated twist. Left hand can come down, left leg lowers behind the right. So you're facing the long edge of the mat. Once again, you can always elevate the pelvis on something. You can kick that bottom leg straight out. Let's go right into some nice, yummy shoulder rolls. Just feeling the shoulder blades on your back moving there. And And we'll take the right hand down to the floor, dropping that left hip toward the floor as well as you reach that left arm up and over. So the right ear soften toward the shoulder. Nice, easy breaths. We'll bring the left hand down and then we'll unwind facing the opposite edge of your mat. Feet are parallel. We're just gonna sit back for side lunges. Sitting back into the hip creases. You can stay up a little bit higher. Have your hands in the hips. And just watching that this movement is initiated in the hips and then the knees respond by bending, but we aren't kind of letting the knees drive forward there. And then from here, let's go ahead, turn to the front, come on down to a seat and lie on your back. Let's take your feet wide here. Maybe bring your arms out into a goalpost. One more time, just some gentle little windshield wipers side to side. Notice if you feel any difference from when we first did these at the beginning. And then when you are ready, we'll make our way into Shavasana. And so if you want to keep the knees bent, or maybe feel nice to stretch the legs out long. And just find a place that feels easy and restful. If you need a little blanket or pillow underneath your head, behind your knees, just take a few moments to get settled. Letting your body feel heavy. Letting your breath feel easy. And just feeling gratitude. Celebrating yourself for creating this time. And to allow yourself to be challenged. Holding on to your strength, your center as we move from point A to point B. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then as you're ready, just rolling over to your side. Take a moment to pause there. And eventually we'll all meet up in a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Just rest your hands somewhere on your body, maybe on your legs or over your heart and your belly. And whether it is on our mats in our yoga practice or out in the world in our lives, it's not about showing up in these transitions and these challenging moments and having it figured out. It's not about being able to show up and do things perfectly, but rather about showing up and being present and not giving up on ourselves. And tuning in, paying attention, breath by breath, moment to moment. And just feel the difference in your body and your mind and your spirit as you head into the rest of the day, whatever it holds for you. Wonderful, wonderful job today. I'm so proud of you. I know that was a lot of challenging things all in a row. So great, great job. As always, it's so helpful to me if you enjoyed this class, if you give it a thumbs up, you share it with anyone who you think would enjoy it, and hit subscribe so that you are not missing new classes that I post. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me, and I'll see you again next time.